What's up, everybody? Welcome back. This is Forgo, and I had a request to test Magneto against Null. And I gotta tell you guys, when I first saw that comment, I thought, okay, that's a cool idea. Let's try that. But he probably won't do that well. And I actually underestimated Magneto's damage a little bit. I didn't underestimate his durability, however, because that's really the issue with Magneto. But his damage is actually outstanding. He can absolutely murder Null, especially with a CTB of Rage. Honestly, I think he could even do it with a CTB of Energy and maybe even a damage proc. This guy puts out a hell of a lot of damage, even without his all defense down. It's actually quite impressive how fast he can slam down those damn bars. I was like, whoa, he was just murdering Null, which is awesome because a lot of us already have Magneto leveled up. We already have him at tier 3. We have this uniform, and it's good to know that he can definitely put in work against Null. He's actually quite strong against them, but his durability is the issue because he only has 29,000 HP. This is absolute shite. This is crap. Look at his energy attack and look at his HP pull. It's just atrocious how low of an HP pull they gave Magneto back in the old day when he got this tier 3. It's absolutely ridiculous. This guy can put a magnetic field around himself to protect him from almost anything. His durability should be way better. He should have way better HP than this, or just some high decreased damage received, but he doesn't. And to put things in perspective, we'll look at another Blast character that's just a tier 2, not even a native tier 2, just a regular tier 2 with a mythic uniform like Magneto. And look at War Machine's HP pull, 27,800. So a tier 3 Blast character, the same type, has about 1,000 HP more, a little more than 1,000 HP. That's ridiculous. Netmarble, what are you thinking? Come on now, hook this guy up, seriously. But his damage is outstanding. So let's run through the build and talk about him a little bit. So my Magneto has 48,500 energy attack. He does have 128 attack speed. He has more or less max critical rate, 187 critical damage, max ignore defense, max skill cooldown, and 56% dodge. I am running a CTB of Rage. I'm actually just curious as to how well he do with a proc, because I played him with a proc before, back in the day, when this uniform was first introduced, and he actually did really, really damn good with a proc. He actually played fairly well with the proc, so I'm actually curious how well he would do against Null, especially with a CTP of Energy, because it has the ignore dodge, something that Magneto doesn't have, but he only has this 56% dodge. 19, well, really about 18% more dodge to be maxed out, and that is hurting our damage. We're losing 13% critical damage to max out the critical damage. That's going to be hurting our damage, but he does have a pretty good build. I mean, he's got 3 Odin's Blessings, so not too many. I do have 83% energy attack on my cards, and his other Urus are just 5-star energy attack, and the rest of his Urus are 5-star. So I can definitely make him a little bit stronger, but I probably won't, because the truth is, as strong as he is, as much damage as he can do, the truth is, because of his durability issues, because of the low HP, I just don't like playing him that much against Null, because he just dies so easy. That's the problem. He can't take a whole lot of punishment, which sucks, which is why you need to murder Null as fast as possible. That way, you're actually increasing your survivability by lowering the amount of time that you're clearing Null. And as far as his skills, his tier 3, he's got the penetration, he's got the increased damage for 1 attack by 50%. He does have all defense down, but that's not going to apply here. His passive, increase all debuff effect by 10%, duration by 10%, which is really, really nice. And then he gets the increased damage dealt to human characters by 80%, which doesn't come in effect against Null because Null is not a human character, obviously. The 1 and the 2, the 2 does have the all defense down. It does a lot of hits, so it actually can do a lot of damage even without the all defense down. And then the 3rd skill actually does quite a bit of damage as well and has the 3 seconds of paralysis, but that doesn't work against Null. And then the 4th skill gives you the 5-second invincibility, which is really great, especially against Null, because it gives you native super armor. So when Null is attacking you and you use the skill and you have it up, he isn't going to break your guard, which is great. And then the 5th skill has an insane damage accumulation with a 1.5% increase of all attack, each 1% accumulated. This is a very, very powerful damage accumulation that's based on how much damage you deal and not how much damage you take. which is nice. And then the passive gives him an activation rate when enemies are within 4M range. Applies enemies, you get a bind, some lightning damage. And this just gives continuous damage. It does help a little bit. And then the leadership, 45% increase of all attack. Now, when it comes to rotation for Magneto, in all honesty, when you're playing with a Rage, you really just want to keep the 4, the 2, the 5, the 3. You're really just trying to keep all of your skills on the proc. And the thing about Magneto that is nice is you can pretty much just cancel these skills almost immediately to, you know, and keep your proc lined up. And all of the skills do residual damage continuously. Now, when you use the 5th skill, you got to wait for the smoke to appear, and then you can go into your other skills. And you see all the damage there. We'll let the 5 play a little bit. And then you can go into your other skills. And lots of hits. I pretty much just do 4, 2, 5. Let the smoke appear. Then I do the 1. Then I do the 3. And then I go back into the 4, 2, 5. And when the tier 3 is ready, I'll hit the tier 3. And hopefully the 4 will be ready. As soon as Magneto throws his arms down, go into the 4, 2, 5. And then go back into the 1, 3. You can do it however you want. People play Magneto differently. We all like to play him a little bit differently. But bottom line is he can just absolutely destroy Null. He can actually do 100% solo. The problem with the solos is he does enough damage, but he just, man, his durability just isn't very good. He just dies too easy, and that's the thing that sucks. Netmarble needs to bump up his HP. Good Lord. Like the next uniform, you know, give him more HP for Christ's sakes. It's ridiculous that Knave Tier 3 has that low of HP. And then he has a fully awakened Power of Angry Hawk set. He has the CTP of Rage, which is the optimal obelisk form. I was actually considering taking this off of him when we had the CTP unequip 50% off, but I decided to keep it on him, and honestly, I'm glad I did because, man, he really does do a lot of damage. I think I might just leave it on him just to really help and aid against Null because his damage is just insane. It really is really freaking great. And then he has a mythic uniform and well-built uniform. You know, we got almost max dodge. I'm actually working this uniform right now. Just got to get a few more bios and then I'll be there. And then we have the max energy attack from this uniform, which was a complete letdown. And then we have the ignore defense from Grim here. Honestly, I should try to get ignore defense somewhere else and just max this uniform out and get some HP. But there's really no point anymore unless you really want to play Magneto all the time and try to give him more HP so you can hopefully keep him alive. And then we got more dodge here. So both of my dodges are almost maxed out. And then we got max critical damage from Doctor Strange's Infinity War uniform. So he is well built. So let's jump into the action and let's rock and roll. So this will be stage 2. We are going to be using Valkyrie for the 50% damage out to supervillains. That way we can murder Null a little bit faster. And she's also got the 25% decreased damage received from supervillains, making Magneto a little bit more of a tank. And with my strikers, I do have 3 ignore dodge strikers because Magneto has no ignore dodge in his kit at all. We do have anti-venom for heals to help our survivability. And then we got Thor for some extra damage to supervillains. And also Valkyrie is giving us 30% ignore dodge. So we have a total of 60% ignore dodge. And, you know, I could switch my characters and all that, but I don't really need to, especially having anti-venom heals. But if you're playing Magneto and you're not using anti-venom, you might want to go ahead and switch your character whenever the symbiote invasion pops up on you. That's really the best way to play. But I wanted to do 100% solo with Magneto because that way you all can see just how strong his damage is. And a lot of times when I do play him, I mean, I do kind of a rotation, but I really just more or less spam his skills and just try to keep his damaging skills, the 4, the 2, the 5, and the 3 on the proc. That's mainly what I'm trying to do. And it's very important to get that 5th skill off. That way you get that damage accumulation. You see when you hit that sucker, the damage is nuts. He just does so many hits. I mean, look at him destroying. Look at this. He's freaking plowing through it. And this was a bad start, guys. This was a bad start. I was practicing this earlier on stage 2, and in 1 minute with the same team, same strikers, I finished the first phase. 1 minute. I mean, he can plow through this stuff. Now, I'm not telling you should build Magneto for Null, but I am letting you know that he definitely can put in work into this. He will surprise you. And as always, a lot of these characters, their animations are so crazy and take up the whole screen. Sometimes it's difficult to see what Null is doing. So I'm really just, I played this so much, I'm really just timing it in my head when I need to switch my character. Okay, and look at this guy. He's just plowing through this like it's nothing. Oh, I love it so much. It really is cool seeing Magneto do this. I actually haven't played Magneto in some time. And I might actually just start playing him a little bit more against Null because this is pretty impressive what he's doing. This is impressive. Now there I kind of switched to my rotation, but I'm just trying to do as much damage as I can early on. I mean, look at that. Like you hit that fifth skill and that damage accumulation comes up and the bars just go bye-bye. Already put Null in the next phase. Come on, here we go. I mean, that's the thing about Magneto. He has the damage, but you have to play him very carefully. I mean, you could bring damage, strikers that decrease damage received, but you need some ignored dodge. You absolutely need that, and you're really better off to have some damage out to supervillains, especially against Null, because it takes a lot of damage to hurt this guy. But I think Magneto's really strong enough that you probably could bring in some decreased damage received from supervillain strikers, and he would still get it done. The guy's got a lot of power. Now, I don't want to use his tier 3. We're just going to wait. We're going to wait. And normally, I would just attack right now. I would just go ahead and attack. But because of his survivability issues, because of the low HP, I'm trying to be a little careful. But look at the damage we just took. It doesn't take a whole lot. I mean, 42,000 HP against Null just isn't nothing. It really isn't. It's just jack for HP. It's so crazy that, the god of magnetism has such a low HP pool. Now, we're going to wait, because if we attack now, we're going to take a lot of damage and we will die pretty much instantly. If we had full life, maybe I would chance it, but probably not, because he has the damage that you can do it at the end, start of this phase right here. So we just hit the tier 3. We're going to make sure he throws out the shards, then go into the 4-2-5, get our accumulation, and boom. And we're just going to keep going into our skills. Come on, Mags. And look at that, guys. 4-minute clear, stage 2. He can absolutely do a solo in stage 1 for sure. I have no doubt. But like I said earlier, because of his low HP pool, if you get hit a couple times, you're pretty much going to die. That's really the biggest caveat to this character. But his damage is absolutely insane. Wow. And I imagine those of you that got really well built Magnetos, you got Odin's blessings all over him from previously using him in ABX. You got his critical damage maxed out. He's just going to be freaking bonk. Oh. So let me know if you're using Magneto against Null. I'm actually really curious to see how many people are and how well you're doing with them, what's your highest clear with them. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Y'all take care and have a good one.